Hello, everybody. This is forecaster Charlie here at Northeastern Ohio Weather Center. Today, we're going to be beginning a new series of trying to do daily videos. I will say that the videos will not be consecutive, so sometimes they'll be posted in the morning, sometimes they'll be posted in the afternoon, like this. And eventually, they may not be daily, or maybe like every 2 days because of timing, busyness. But we're gonna shoot for daily. Anyways, we have a huge severe weather day. We're having a severe weather outbreak today across the Midwest, Great Lakes, into the Southern Plains, especially over here in that moderate risk where there's currently a tornado going on. Where there was that flashing red, that's currently a tornado warning. It is observed. So that's going on over there in the enhanced and moderate risk regions. Over here, that risk will flood in 2 hours, so that stuff is going to flood into our region. Thankfully, almost our area, we do have some. Well, actually, our area, excluding Sandusky, that is a slight risk. But our area, we are in a marginal risk. All of us are in a marginal risk, which means isolated strong to severe storms possible into early morning Wednesday. This is for not later today, this is for early morning Wednesday. The concerning thing is that we do have a tornado risk. We do have a 2% chance, so isolated tornadoes are possible. But you see there's that stippling area, that kind of hatching area. That means it's called SIG 1, CIG 1. What that essentially means is any isolated tornado that forms in this stippled area, that green stippled area, could potentially be EF2 or greater to the conditional intensity. So conditionally, it does have the possibility to be an EF2 or greater. Now it looks like they actually have highlighted the whole warm sector. Obviously, your greater tornado risk is in the red and yellow, where your 50%, your 15% areas. There's actually a SIG 2 where your lines are, which means an EF3 or greater in that region. But luckily, we're not in that. We're in the SIG 1, and areas to our west are in the 5% SIG 1, which just means a few tornadoes possible, and those tornadoes could be EF2 or greater. This is probably your main risk for the early morning, so I would really watch out, especially when you get up in the morning. This is where you're really gonna watch out. But here's the thing: nothing to stress over. It is a pretty light risk. What I mean by that, it's a pretty low end risk, so you're likely not going to see a strong tornado. But the probability, the possibility is there. Don't get me wrong. In the early morning, we could see some 40 to 60 mile per hour damaging wind gusts from any isolated storm in the morning. And we also could see some isolated 1-inch hail from these storms. So all hazards possible. However, it's really when we go into tomorrow when it's the big day. So we do have all of our region, except for Conneaut, but essentially all of our region is under a 2 out of 5 slight risk, which means scattered severe storms in either multi-cells, line segments, or one huge QLCS, scattered of that. Tornado risk is there, so once again, we have parts of it's kind of like a deja vu, especially for these areas. Some of us are still under a day 2 slight risk, so some of us, especially in these SIG areas, will have the potential for at least a 2% chance of a tornado throughout the whole day Wednesday. But even after that, still a 2% chance of a tornado anywhere in the actual 2% non-SIG. But you really have to watch out in the SIG, especially since parts of our area are in the 5% SIG. I say so anywhere south of Youngstown, including Canton and Massillon. Apple Creek, southeast of Worcester, you're in that 5% chance of a few tornadoes possible, and those tornadoes could be a EF1 or greater. And your biggest risk is damaging winds. So the majority of our region is under a 30% chance of damaging winds. So that means storms in either multi-cells or a line, would support numerous, potentially for the possibility of scattered to maybe even numerous severe thunderstorm warnings, either in multi-cells or along the lines that produce damaging wind gusts of 60 to 75 miles per hour. However, for the risk of hurricane force winds, which is 74 or miles per hour greater, you would see a Sig 1, and we do not have a Sig 1 yet. So, truly your risk is, 60 mile per hour wind gusts to 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible, or in this region, and actually also in this region, wind gusts from 40 to 65 miles per hour are expected. Well, 40 to 60 are expected in this red region. Now, usually in the old methodology, this red region would mean a enhanced risk by the Storm Prediction Center. But in the new methodology, it's still slight because there is no CIG outlines. There's no SIG outlines. So, still a medium risk for everybody. Still a medium risk of severe weather for everybody. That could change. The Storm Prediction Center just mentioned we could have a outlook upgrade to enhanced. And there's still a lot of things uncertain. Hail, for the majority of our region, hail is less than 5%. Because storms probably won't be that strong enough to contain hail, but they will be strong enough to potentially have a tornado, which could be strong, and really good damaging wind gusts. Parts of our region in the Worcester, Canton area, Salem, you are in the 5% chance of hail. So this is where you're, essentially, if you were to map it out, this area would be where your all hazards area. For our region, this is where your all hazards risk would be, where you have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch, a 5% hatch of tornadoes, and a 30% chance of wind. So this area in our region is one to really watch for an all hazards day. And obviously north, west, south, east. Now, if we go to what's currently happening, let's see, we have a few tornado watches over here in the plains, and we have this tornado watch where there's currently 2 supercells right now, 1 tornadic, 1 near Juliet's probably going to turn tornadic in that tornado watch. Down the line, once again, there's an enhanced and slight risk down the line, so there probably will be tornado watches near our area. Still uncertain if we will get a tornado watch because it is only a marginal risk, a 2% chance of a tornado. The thing is, it is outlined as a CIG, which means it could be strong. So they may go with the watch because there is a risk. They do have a risk for strong tornadoes. But the risk is so low that they just negate having a watch because the risk is just so low. Tomorrow, I can almost assure you, there will be watches, specifically in that, at least in that 30% region. There will be tornado watches. Severe thunderstorm, and maybe a tornado watch. Either severe thunderstorm or possibly, maybe even probably a tornado watch, because that 5% hatch is there. So a tornado watch or severe. So a tornado watch is, once again, a tornado watch is likely in this region, or severe thunderstorm watch. Could be both. In our northern counties, let's get, it could be a deja vu where we might actually escape a watch. But because this area is under a marginal risk for early Wednesday with a Sig 2 tornado, and parts of this are under a Sig 2 tornado actually in day 2, later in the day Wednesday, an overall 50% chance of damaging wind gusts. I do kind of expect there to potentially be maybe at the best mode would be no mesoscale discussion, no watch. The ceiling would be a watch, but the median right now I'm thinking is, maybe a mesoscale discussion, maybe a severe thunderstorm watch could be issued by the Storm Prediction Center. Is the HRRR. Some of you guys may know what the HRRR is, and we're gonna use it. We're gonna use composite reflectivity for this one, so you can really see the intensity of the rain, really good. Here's the HRRR. Kind of leaked it. So the HRRR, I haven't seen this, by the way. I was at work all day, so I have not seen this, by the way. So you're seeing it with me here. So this is around 4 to 6 a.m. A freaking huge QLCS, a huge line with some scattered strong to severe convection. Okay, I'm seeing this. This is really when you get up in the morning, so we're really gonna have to watch this. And after that, oh yeah, man, look at that. That excites me. That excites me. That makes me happy as a stormer. However, look what happens. You get a lot of crap vection. Once you get a lot of strong to severe storms posing an all hazard threat, especially with these supercells. So this is the HRRR. I think the NAM and the HRRR both agree at least that there will be a lot of at least isolated to scattered strong to severe storms. Then after that, heavy rain behind it, really heavy rain behind it. And here's your cold front, and there's just no instability. Your line's down here. You would have to watch if your atmosphere recovers over here, but there's just no instability for this cold front to initiate. It kind of does over here in Pennsylvania. It kind of does refire. But that's your HRRR. So the question is, how do you merge that? How do you merge it? So this is how I make my forecasts. I ask myself, how do I merge these two models? How do I merge them? How do I get like a general most likely answer? I'll give you one. The most likely answer, which is still has a lot of uncertainties in it, is that there's ice storm warnings. Is that there will be strong to severe storms in this region, posing an all hazards threat, mainly in wind damage of, I'd say, 50 to 65 miles per hour. I do think that there will be a either weakening, most likely weakening, or slightly weakened QLCS, potentially 40 to 60 miles per hour, and mainly damaging wind gusts, proposing that all hazards threat, especially with any cell that develops over here. After that, we will likely see more cells somewhere over here, probably isolated or scattered, posing when that atmosphere unstabilizes, destabilization, I mean. When their atmosphere destabilizes a little bit, there is still uncertainties if this area will recover from that line. There is still uncertainties, in my opinion, if the atmosphere will recover, especially since this area is so close to the lake. Uncertainties on that. And then there is like a second round almost, where your cold front comes. And anything in front of the cold front, I believe, will pose an all hazard threat. However, when that cold front comes, this is where your most uncertainty is. If we get a lot of scattered storms, your instability will be pretty rubbish here. And your overall threat will stay down south. So, I don't know. We could see some reconvection in some spots that are a bit unstable. We'll have to see. But that's your overall risk. That is your overall risk. I will make another video tomorrow. Maybe when I'm not in a tornado warning. Hopefully not. But yeah, I'll make another video tomorrow.